Because if the latest leak is accurate, the iPhone 18 Pro and iPhone 18 Pro Max are getting a brand new finish reportedly called dark cherry, and we've now got leaked photos of rear camera glass covers that give us one of the clearest hints. Yet at what Apple's next Pro iPhones might look like in 2026. Now before anyone says it, yes, these are camera covers made by a third-party parts supplier, not official Apple marketing images. But historically, these component leaks can be surprisingly close to the final look, especially when multiple colors show up at the same time and match the rumored lineup. So in this video, we're breaking down the leaked iPhone 18 Pro colors, what dark cherry could actually look like in real life, why the camera island design matters here, and the one thing that's already annoying a lot of iPhone fans, the continued absence of a true black Pro model. Let's jump right into the leak. The new images making the rounds appear to show camera covers for Apple's upcoming flagships, essentially, the glass pieces designed to sit over the rear camera island area. And the big takeaway is that we're seeing 4 distinct colors that line up with what multiple reports have already suggested for the iPhone 18 Pro series. According to the current rumor stack, the iPhone 18 Pro and iPhone 18 Pro Max could come in dark gray, dark cherry, silver, sky blue, and in the leaked component photos, those 4 shades are represented, meaning this isn't just someone made a concept render. This looks like supply chain color prep happening early enough that accessories and replacement parts are being prototyped or produced. Now let's address the important detail. These are camera covers, not full phone back panels. That matters, because camera covers are typically glass, and glass reflects light differently than the rest of the phone's rear material. Depending on what Apple uses, matte glass, textured finishes, coated titanium, or a new blend, these colors can look dramatically different on the actual device. So if you're looking at these leaks thinking, that dark cherry looks brighter than I expected, or that looks more glossy than the Pro style, that could be exactly why. Component leaks often look shinier, punchier, or slightly off compared to the finished product, especially under factory lighting and with no surrounding frame to give it context. Still, the fact that dark cherry appears at all is the headline. So what is dark cherry supposed to be? Based on earlier reports, dark cherry is Apple's latest statement Pro color, the kind of shade that replaces what we've seen in previous years like desert titanium or bolder tones like cosmic orange. Every Pro iPhone generation tends to get one special color that's meant to stand out in key marketing shots and push upgrades from people who are bored of the usual grayscale options. And dark cherry, as a name, instantly sounds premium. It's darker than red. It's richer than burgundy. It's meant to look deep in low light and pop in bright light, but here's where things get divisive. A lot of concept renders floating online had dark cherry looking like this deep, dramatic, almost luxury wine tone, something that would finally tempt the people who always buy black or space gray. And in these leaked camera cover photos, the shade looks different. Depending on the lighting, it can come off more like a muted cherry tone than the super dark, near-black red people were imagining. Now again, that could be the glass effect. It could be lighting. It could be early production variants. Or it could simply be that Apple's dark cherry is not as dark as the name suggests. And if that ends up being true, the reaction is going to be mixed, because the entire point of a Pro-exclusive color is that it has to feel special enough to justify buying the new model. Now let's talk about the rest of the rumored iPhone 18 Pro color lineup, because it actually tells us a lot about Apple's strategy. Dark gray looks like the safe Pro option, the one that replaces the classic space gray vibe without going fully black. Silver is the timeless, clean Apple look, always popular, always premium, and usually the most consistent shade year to year. Sky blue is the interesting one because it signals Apple is still experimenting with lighter, more expressive Pro finishes, colors that feel slightly more playful but still Pro enough to sit next to the darker tones. If this lineup is real, Apple is basically covering every buyer type. People who want subtle and professional. Dark gray. Silver people who want a bold signature look. Dark cherry people who want something fresh and different. Sky blue now. Let's talk about the camera design, because these leaks also reinforce something we've already been hearing. The iPhone 18 Pro is expected to continue the design direction introduced with the iPhone 17 Pro, including a larger rear camera island. And that's exactly why camera cover leaks matter so much. The camera area is no longer a small corner detail. It's a major chunk of the phone's visual identity. When your camera island gets bigger, the color matching becomes more important, the finish consistency becomes more noticeable, and the whole phone's look can shift depending on how the camera area reflects light. So if dark cherry looks slightly different on the camera glass versus the back panel, that contrast could either look incredible or it could look mismatched. Apple usually avoids mismatches, which is why the existence of these color-matched components suggests the finish has been planned as a cohesive package. Now, we have to address the biggest complaint already building around these leaks. No black iPhone 18 Pro. Again, multiple reports have suggested Apple is not planning a true black option for the iPhone 18 Pro lineup. And if you're someone who buys the Pro every year and always goes black, this is the part that stings. Because for a lot of people, Pro equals dark, stealthy finishes, minimal, understated style, the kind of color that looks good in any case. Any setup, any environment dark gray might scratch that itch for some, but it's not the same as a true black Pro model. And what's interesting is the rumor that Apple may be saving a big black comeback for a future milestone model. Something like an iPhone 20 Pro era redesign. Whether that's true or not, it definitely feels like Apple has been deliberately spacing out certain classic finishes so they can bring them back as headline features later. Because let's be real, Apple has turned colors into marketing events. A new Pro color can be a bigger conversation starter than minor spec bumps, and Apple knows that. So here's the real question. Is dark cherry actually the it color? If Apple nails the tone, deep, rich, premium, it could easily become the most popular iPhone 18 Pro color in years. The kind of shade that looks almost black indoors, but shows that cherry depth in sunlight. But if it's too bright, too pinkish, or too red, it risks feeling less pro and more playful, especially at Pro pricing. And with camera cover leaks, it's hard to judge because you're seeing one piece of the puzzle with different material, different reflectivity, different lighting, no surrounding frame for context. So I'd treat this leak as a confirmation that dark cherry exists, and a rough hint of tone, but not the final verdict on how it'll look in your hand. Now let's talk about how Apple usually handles Pro colors, because this helps us predict what's coming next. Typically, Apple's Pro lineup includes 2 safe neutrals, silver plus a dark tone, 1 brighter or fresh, modern color, 1 signature color that becomes the face of the generation. If dark cherry is the signature shade, expect Apple's marketing photos to be built around it, especially the camera island shots, the titanium edges, and those close-up renders where the finish looks expensive. And if Apple really wants dark cherry to hit, they'll likely pair it with color-matched frame tone, refined texture to reduce fingerprints, a finish that looks different depending on light, giving it that premium depth effect. All right, let's bring it back to what these leaks actually mean for you. If you're planning to buy the iPhone 18 Pro or iPhone 18 Pro Max, this leak is useful because it suggests the color lineup is likely close to finalized. Dark cherry is real enough to show up in supplier components. Apple is continuing the larger camera island design language, and if you want black, you may be waiting another year or more, and if you're someone who upgrades mostly for design and feel, the color might actually be the deciding factor this year more than the specs. So here's what I want to know from you. If the iPhone 18 Pro colors are dark gray, dark cherry, silver, and sky blue, which one are you picking? Are you feeling dark cherry, or does it look different from what you expected? And are you frustrated that Apple still won't give us a true black Pro option? Drop your choice in the comments because I want to see which color is winning right now. If you want the latest iPhone 18 Pro leaks, iPhone 18 Pro Max updates, and every new detail as we get closer to launch, make sure you subscribe to Touch Trove and turn on notifications, because the color leaks are just the beginning, and the next wave is going to be all about design, cameras, and the display upgrades. All right, I'll catch you in the next one.